got a new show for y'all. Got a damn good show.
I found myself wondering, and this applies to America, and then maybe it'll go to other places in a different way because Finland ties in.
Finland.
Do you think that integration
Finland
was the right move? Like, and now I'm separating two things because I know in America people are like, well, of course, I mean, there was racism and there's segregation, and I go, yeah, no, I'm separating them. Let's separate someone being oppressed and someone not being able to get a job and someone not being able to get a bank loan. Let's take all of those, the negative things away, because I'll put myself out personally and say, I think whether we're talking about gifted kids who are anomalous, let's say, to the norm, whether we are talking about and I mean anything that does not fit into a category. I think the part of the reason Finland is able to do it is because, have you been to Finland?
It's very homogenous.
I've been to Finland. You know who's in Finland? Finnish people. That's it. That's it.
He wants to bring back segregation. And why is he comparing the United States? Why is Finland so great? Because it's all white. He said they don't have any problems there. They're all Finnish. You know? But he's looking at society through a racist lens. Everybody here in America, a majority of us are Americans. It doesn't matter what your race is. Right. But diversity is not a strength. You know, Democrats say that's a strength that's not. Yeah, because they use diversity against us. Well, that and the big strength for them. Well, that and the world's biggest atrocities have been based on our differences. Right. If we're all Asian, half these atrocities would have never occurred. Most of them wouldn't have occurred. So you agree with him? He's like, I'd rather just live with all white people. Black people can stay by themselves. I have no problem with being in an all-white society. Hey, Keith, I couldn't agree with you more. Yeah, so I don't want to be with just black people. I already know if I had to pick, if I'll just live with a bunch of black people or I live with a bunch of white people, honestly, because of crime rates, I'd rather live with white people. I can deal with Karen. I can't deal with Tyrone. Yeah. But and Pookie and them. I can't deal with them. Yeah. I can't believe he's actually asking the question. It's like this has already been determined to be bad for society to separate people based on their differences. And this is the fool that was calling President Trump a racist, a white supremacist. A South African immigrant to America that's flourishing in America. Right. He's actually suggesting segregation in America. Well, he's there is something wrong with black people, regardless of where you come from. It is something genetically wrong with the black person's mind. Well, it is. You look at all black society, there's no competition to here in America. It's absolutely none. We have the largest GDP. We have the largest economy in the world. Yeah, but you shouldn't generalize all black people. We turned out fine. See what I'm saying? No. Now, he's talking to a Princeton professor. Yeah. A professor at Princeton, and they're entertaining this nonsense. You know why? They're all black. Yeah, there's too much diversity.
And because they're all Finnish, there's an idea of like, no, we all head in the same direction. We all know what our actions mean. And that's a really powerful thing I've learned in communicating with other people. When I'm in a room with anyone where we start to tie together multiple things. So if I'm in a room with black people, already there's like an implicit trust because we know what certain actions, words, and vibes mean.
So he can read black people, but he can't read white people? I'm the opposite when I'm in a room with black people. Yeah, I totally don't get them Negroes. Look, he's not done.
And then you're in a room with another African. Already. Now, even if you shout at me, I know what your shout means. The same way an Italian knows what an Italian shout means. Yeah. Right? I know I'm prefacing it with a lot because it's a loaded question. Yes. But I would love to know if you think integration was the right solution, maybe.
Well, what's the other option? What's the other alternative? Segregation, Jim Crow? I mean, black people drinking at their own water fountains, eating at their own restaurants? That's the solution. He's coming from the point of view that black people will only understand black people when we get each other, and we will only be successful if we're amongst ourselves, which is, I think, is very, very false. If I'm in a community that's majority black, I'm already at a disadvantage. Yeah, because the reason why, see, black people want this, but this is the thing. Black people's culture is not superior to white culture. They think we all the same, but it's not. The reason why black people are the poorest demographic in this country is because of our culture. Yeah. Yeah. Right? Right. The reason why Indian people, red dot people, the reason why they make the most money in the country because they have a different culture. They have a different worldview. You can actually say that it's superior to white culture because they're the biggest earners in this country. Yeah. Like white people is not the biggest earners in America, which is sounds crazy, but it's a fact. It's a statistical fact. The lowest earner is who? Black people. Black people. Why is that? Why is illegal immigrants doing better than the black population? Yeah. Why is Latinos doing better than black people? Yeah. It's because they have a superior culture. Yeah. It's superior. I mean, black people's culture is inferior to all other cultures. Like, it's just different. Like black people, like white people. Black people gave that term to Karens, white people that just snitch on everybody for the littlest things. Mm-hmm. Black culture, it's flipped. It's no snitching. Yeah. You know what I mean? You could kill somebody. It's diametrically opposed. Yeah, it's just like, it's just different cultures. Yeah. And that's why I say I'd rather live in a white culture. Yeah. I get white people. Now, I understand not all white people are going to get me, but I'm fine with that because I'd rather be with white people. If this country was systemically racist in America, in which I don't agree that it is, if I have the opportunity to live around white people, I'm already in an advantage because they are a minority and their culture is superior when it comes to capitalism here in America. Well, you said they're a minority. Huh? You said white people are the minority. I said majority. Oh, majority. Yeah. Black people, I just don't get black people. Like this whole conversation is just dumb. This is black culture though. If you talk about something that's dumb, automatically you're gonna become dumb because you're talking about something that's it's already been deemed to be unacceptable in society. But these black people, even this college professor, is actually considering that. Yeah. Considering this. If the roles were reversed and these were white people, what did the black people say? Oh, these people are racist. Right. White supremacist. Yeah.
On the other side of, you know, what America, of civil rights.
Yeah. No, I don't. And I don't think it's actually that controversial when if you understand that segregation and integration weren't the only options. Like those are within those two options, it may seem like integration is the more progressive. Like, of course, we don't want segregation.
Integration is progressive. Progressive is men and women's restrooms. Integration was more of a liberal idea. Right. It came from liberalism. Listen.
Segregation. But again, when you're being integrated into institutions, into a culture that's a supremacist culture, that's a culture that feeds off of hierarchy, that feeds off of insecurity, anxiety, why are we being integrated into that? And
that's the problem. You're not being integrated into a society that is systemically racist. That's all a figment of your black imagination. One of these ladies are Princeton professor. I'm thinking it's her. Yeah. Man, you know what? There is, I shouldn't say it. There's something different about black folks. Well, it comes from trauma, Kevin. What trauma? Being in the best country in the world? No, they live in the best country in the world. Hey, you need to calm down. See that? See, you got some of that trauma because you're black. You need to listen to what I'm saying. You need to drop them off in Africa with spears, cattle, and let them live that life if they want to live it. Hey, Kevin, they'll be begging to come back to America. They'll be kissing a white man's feet. Hey, let me say something. You gonna say it? It's just. It's trauma there. No, let me explain. That's a capacity thing. Hey, Kevin, you gonna let me talk, or you just gonna? You ain't saying nothing. Okay, let me say it. See, I'm getting upset because I'm black. It's that trauma. I'm just gonna go out in a rage for no reason. No, seriously. Let me say this.
If you do, I understand it. I understand that rage because I'm black too.
Hey, that's what he would say. No,
Shut up.
Black people's been through like a trauma, and it's been perpetuated by politicians. Like, black people was captured, sold, right?
By who?
By black people. But this is the thing.
But they understand each other.
No, but they've been black people's been dominated,
Why?
put into labor for
Why though?
white men. Hey, let me get done talking, right? And
They had
for some reason, it's being celebrated in our community, and because it's being black to celebrate it and always talk about it, and because they're trapped in this box, they're trapped in this circle, they can't break out.
Why is that? Does that make them?
And they're never gonna be able to like get over that. And that's what hurts black communities. That's why they're the poorest in the country, because they feel like they're less than, and they're never gonna overcome that ever.
Yeah. What I get from the gist of this conversation is that what Trevor Noah is saying is that when it comes to an integrated society with black, white, Latino, black people cannot compete against Latinos. They can't compete against India. They can't compete against whites. They can't compete against any other ethnicity because they're at a huge disadvantage because everybody hates them.
Man,
That's pretty much what they say.
yeah, but we're already segregated in the U.S. You go to black areas, all black people. How they doing? How they looking? It looks crazy in those communities.
Yeah, but we don't live in a black area.
Huh?
Not everybody black lives in a...
I'm talking about, you go to an all black area,
Yeah, I know.
it's usually like the hood is
Right.
it's dangerous. The crime rate is through the roof.
Right.
You see crackheads walking up down the street.
Right.
It's like you can't raise a family in that area.
Right.
Most black areas,
Right.
the crime rate's too high. So why would you want to black people whatever?
I wish they would just go back to Africa, really. I wish we should pay them reparations. They can go back to Africa, learn their native tongue, and they could be Africans. But you know what the crazy thing about Africa?
What?
It's not a country. It's just a continent. It's a bunch of little countries that make up Africa, and none of those people get along. Not even other black countries get along with other black countries. It's just like the Native American before.
It's nationalism at that point, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like here in America before when Christopher Columbus came. Indians was fighting amongst Indians.
Yeah, tribalism.
It's right. They act like it here in the United States was an oasis for Native Americans. No, they was killing each other. And then when a white man comes, oh, it's different. They're white. They're evil. They're fighting over the same land the Indians is fighting over. Same thing with black people. They think if they were surrounded by black people, everything would be perfect. It was never been perfect since the beginning of time. You can even look at modern societies today throughout the world. You look at every black country, they are inferior to all other countries. But for some odd reason, these three black morons think they'd be better off just black people amongst black people.
Yeah, idiots. Morons. Knuckle draggers.
Genetic.
Mouth breathers.